Welcome back. And Sipho asked me about Amazon. Sipho say the world is just running to information technology. Nothing can go wrong. So let's have a look here, Sipho. Maybe you're right. I just want to have a look here because remember, this is one of the top stocks in the world. In actual fact, I heard the other day that this is a stock that's with the highest fundamental value in the world. Now, I'm not a fundamental analyst, but if I look at this chart, it is a beautiful chart. Sipho, look what happens here. It goes to a resistance, and it pulls back all the way to the support. Then it goes up again, try almost its best to get there, then come back to the support. And the moment it gets to the support, everybody comes in and they just buy it. They chase it. They believe this is the new stock. So, people, if I look at this chart, I'm a little bit nervous because we're already right at the top. And as we know, the Americans or the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones is flying. And remember, the NASDAQ is part of the big movers in the American market. And Amazon is a big player there. But let's just be a little bit cautious. There I see a little bit of a support that makes me a little bit nervous. That is the support there. And that support, Sipho, is at 2,274. While it's above that, it can still move up in this, let's call it an ascending channel. But unfortunately, an ascending channel eventually turns out to give us a sell-off. So maybe that's not going to be the case. Maybe it can just go higher and break this 2,426 and test the magical 2,500. Let's have a look here. Sipho, if it breaks this line of 2,263, I will be a little bit nervous. But as, of course, you said to me on an email, and remember, you guys must use Frans at fransklerk.com if you send emails for talking technical requests. And he said, Sipho said, Frans, if I buy it, where's my stop loss? Well, Sipho, there's your stop loss. I just mentioned it to you now. But if you want to chase it, and I believe chase the momentum, you can buy above 2,431. And of course, my first target will then be that magical psychological level of 2,500. So, Sipho, you're a brave man. I mean, after this rally, maybe you're a little bit late to buy it now. Amazon is one of those companies that, look at it. It started here, went all the way through, and it's just rallying like you can't believe. And I made a joke the other day. I said, with all these lockdowns of the economies, I wonder if Chris or John or Pete loses his job, his wife will say, let's go and buy some stuff on Amazon on the credit card, and let's go out for some, you must almost say, fast foods and buy it from Amazon. I doubt that, and she's not going to tell him to play another game. He's going to find a job. So there you are, Sipho. If we look at the real estate, and I'm looking at the index here of the real estate of South Africa, because there's quite a few viewers that's keen on buying property on the market. Now, let's call it property index. Well, if I look at this chart here, what makes me a little bit nervous, what do we see here? When it started to fall from about 18,000, it fell off a cliff, and it's still going down. And I made a joke of my speculation group last week sometime, I think it was Thursday or so, I cannot even remember. I asked them a few questions. I said, can you maybe tell me if your house was worth more than now a month ago? And I think the answer is no. I asked them if your car is worth more than now, well, a month ago. I think the answer is no. Now, if the property index looks like that, I will say that is our crucial line. And that's it. We need to wait for this line. And I'm going to give you guys the level at 6,603. There's no rush to get into it unless that line turns into a support. And then you guys can use a stop loss of 5,363. And I believe that you can maybe look at the property stock, look at this index as well, and just make sure when it turns around. Yes, the day when it turns around, it will give us a beautiful rally. That can maybe be a month or 2 years from now. Never know. And I just hear about a lot of people that are losing their jobs. It's been cut from full day to half day. And there's also a lot of people that actually lost their jobs overseas and coming back to South Africa. I think that the property market is going to be under pressure. And I think people will also, if you have a tenant, you will have some tenants, beautiful, wonderful guys and ladies, cannot pay their rent. And I think it's not going to be easy to get them out, because what on earth are you doing? I mean, if you just push the guy aside on the road, and he's not a bad guy, he didn't cause anything with the corona, and you're just hammering him. Difficult question. Well, let's have a look at the financial index, because the financial index, I'm looking at the top 25 here. Let's have a look here. And if we look at that index, I just want to get there. There's a financial index. Well, I mean, same thing. It fell off a cliff. And if I look at it, I'm going to do exactly the same. That's a golden rule here. Don't be ignorant. Wait for this line. And look what we see here. We see a rally up. We see maybe a higher low. We see an attempt to break that resistance line at 10,372. It did not break that yet. I will wait for this 10,372 before I'll buy, and I'll make use of this stop loss of 9,480. So I think a poker face, and wait. Well, there was a request on Apple. And of course, this is also one of those top companies. I mean, nothing can go with Apple. If you look at the charts, you can just see Apple is one of those top companies in the world. In actual fact, I think Apple, somebody told me, has got so much cash that they can buy South Africa out. Can you believe it? So we can get bought out by Apple, and we can all work for Apple. Beautiful. But let's have a look here. This is a beautiful rally from $221 all the way up to 302 in a matter of 3-4 weeks. The big question now is, can it continue that? So I will say, if you look at that, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Chris that asked me about Apple. Chris, it must get above 327 before I get excited. For this rally, same thing here. Look what happens. You get these extended rallies, you get a pullback. Look at this extension. It was from 173 all the way up to 327, and then it loses or it pulls back, and then it goes up again. So, of course, maybe I'm wrong. I would just chase momentum here. If you want to chase, I'm not chasing momentum, but an interesting chart. Momentum is strong, and I'm just wondering, the whole world is struggling. Why will everybody just running to internet? Maybe there's some people that's going to look for artisans in future, and not just all computer junkies. But oh, well, maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Let's have a look at the mid-cap index, because I heard the other day a fund manager, a well-known fund manager, said he believes that the mid-cap index in South Africa is actually offering some value. And he believes that if you want to invest, that's the place where you can invest for a horizon of about, let's call it 5 years. Now, for me, 5 years in the market is a very long time. Of course, I'm also a day trader, and I like to trade the Aussie. But if you look at this fall of the cliff. From 80,000, it fell all the way to 48,630. The only thing that worries me about the mid-cap index, and even some mid-cap shares, and that is now shares like Aspen, SOAR, Leaks. Some of them are favorite names, but sometimes liquidity can be a problem in this index. If it dries up, it can dries up quickly. Of course, on the other hand, when it goes up and everybody's looking for stock, you'll have to pay up. Let's have a look here. Same story here. Fell off a cliff. You see a waterfall formation. I will just be patient. I know the fund manager is a clever guy. That is the level for me to watch. 53,947. Before that, I'm holding my cash in my pocket. And what do I see here? It's on the way of making a high, a lower high, and maybe a new lower low here. I'm a little bit nervous, so I will only buy above this resistance line. And why I'm so nervous about all these resistance lines? Because, remember, the Dow Jones rallied, S&P, NASDAQ rallied, the top 40 index rallied. I mean, just shows you that is flying. Well, I'm just a little bit nervous when that indexes are coming back. You can easily see that some of the mid-cap shares can even come under more pressure. Let's have a look at Process. Somebody asked me about Process. I think it was, what time? I wrote it down. Let's have a look here. Process. Oh, Stefan asked me about process. He said to me, Frans, process, I want to know if I must hold on to the stock. What must I do? Well, of course, this is the Eurozone. Well, they're talking about the internet company of the Eurozone. I mean, it's listed there. It started in March at around just below 1,000 Rand. It's now 1,408 Rand. That's 40% up in 6 weeks. I mean, that's a nice move, eh? 40% up in 2 weeks. In 6 weeks. But, excuse me, that is a nice move to the upside. And by the way, that is not a corona. There you are. Let's have a look at it. Okay, there you are. Beautiful Lampo formation. Why is it not a corona cough? No, we stay in a small town with the name of Vosburg. There's only 90 people staying here, so I don't think anybody can have any illness here. Don't worry. It's on a new high, and while it's above 1,374 Rand, this chart looks fantastic. I'm also a little bit nervous. It's on a new high. It's beautiful. I think if the world markets pull back, I will not chase it. I mean, a 40% rally in 6 weeks in a market where the whole world is struggling, I'm just a little bit nervous. So, Stefan, be careful, below 1,374 Rand. I think you can hold on to it. While you can hold on to it why can you hold on? Because the momentum is still clearly to the upside. If you have a little bit of a nervousness, maybe use this level. That's 1,394. Below that, I'll be worried because that will be my first warning signal. Below this support line, it can easily fall away quite a lot out of nervousness of the rest of the market. Well, thank you so much. Please visit our website www.fransdeklerk.com and we'll talk again.